What's up, squad? It's your Squid. This video is part 3 in a multi-part video on watching the Petty Blue documentary narrated by Kevin Costner on the Petty family and the NASCAR racing deities, basically. So yeah, this is part 3. If you haven't seen part 1 and 2, feel free, I won't mind. Click away from this video right now, go and click on number 1. It'll be in my motorsports playlist and watch them in order and yeah, enjoy the doco as I enjoy it, you know what I mean? I don't know if Americans call them docos. Documentaries, like the short version of documentary in Australia is doco. Short version of everything in Australia has an O on it, you know? Like the paramedics are called ambos because they drive an ambulance, just for example. But anyway, these guys are my patrons. They're awesome. You could be awesome too. You know my spiel. Don't forget to hit the like button on the video, blah, blah, blah. Hit subscribe. Let's get into it. Thanks for tuning back in, guys. Let's get straight into it. As I said, like we've gone through about 28 minutes so far in the documentary, so I'm really excited. Lee Petty has just gone over the edge of Daytona, and he can't race anymore. And they're going through the relationship that Richard Petty had with his father before and after becoming the main driver in their family.
Phil, compliments for anything you've done good. It was always what you done that wasn't good.
I felt like I was learning and accomplishing what my ability was. I was just trying to make it work the best I could, whether it was driving the car, whether it was with a family. So there was a lot happened in those couple of 3 years.
Two children just boom, boom right together. Sharon and Kyle are exactly 12 months apart. So a lot of times I couldn't go with Richard and I was home with the kids.
It would have been hard.
It was just a total different way of life.
She doesn't look like it was that hard. She had a big smile on her face.
We didn't have a fine home.
Have a look at her hair.
A new car, but we had each other and we were happy.
I remember my mama whining, crying, saying, I wish your daddy was here, or anything like that. You know, my mom is a very independent person. I'm sure there were times she was lonely. I'm sure there were times she needed him desperately. She didn't let us know.
My mother was incredibly strong. She was the disciplinarian, whether it was our grades, whether it was something we did after school or before school or to another student or to our brothers or sisters. She was the one that kind of took the bull by the horn and kind of put us back in line.
I was the one, and you can ask him. You ask Kyle, did your daddy ever whip you? And he'd say, no, but my mother whaled the daylights out of me.
Linda was
you do what you got to do.
She took care of everything at home. So we lived 2 separate lives together, okay? You got to figure, you know, you got a 27, 28-year-old kid, and all he wants to do is drive a race car. And so family came second around racing.
It's a bit harsh, but...
Richard had some wins on small tracks in 1962 and 63, but the 43 car didn't have the raw speed to win the big races. Then in 1964, Dodge introduced its race-ready 427 horsepower engine, the Hemi. With Richard behind the wheel.
So this, I know I've said it in every video, but like the documentary making skills of these blokes, like or whoever it was, like I know I said it in part 1, like just the uplifting nature of the music in the background, the quick jump cuts with smiles on their faces, like this is, it tells you that things are about to change, you know, and that going along with the narration as well of like, oh, things were a little bit, but then they start, like it's just so well made, like.
Family business was back in business.
And like the music is true to the area as well, you know, like it's so well made. Even back whenever they made it, you know.
Richard, how long have you been in this racing business?
Oh, about 5 years now.
Your biggest victory?
This was it. This was the first time I
champion before you. How much longer are you going to be in this business?
Well, I guess from now on, just like you.
Richard's first Daytona 500 win would lead to his first NASCAR championship. Over the next 3 years, the 43 won races big and small.
Nice. Crack a smile, mate. He just won Daytona.
At Darlington in 1966,
There we go.
his 55th win broke his father's NASCAR record.
Richard Petty wins the Southern 500. Richard Petty, a man who today at the Darlington Raceway made racing history. And with his father, the man whose record he broke. Lee, how do you feel about all this?
I feel real good, Chris. I think he drove a real good race. The car handled good, and we had all the luck with it.
Nice.
We just hit. I mean, we won a race. Then we went home, worked on the car, went back and won the second race. That's great. Then all of a sudden you win 5, and you win 6, you win 7, 8, 9, 10 races.
Just all adds up.
We reached a certain plateau, now we need to go on. With no looking back then.
Oh, I'm gonna have to look up that song. I know. Someone remind me in the comment
I
section.
wondered who was going to run second.
Even better, if it's on Spotify, just link me straight to it.
Come on,
Please and thank you.
I said, how you do? I said, hey, we won again. Just, you know, it was great.
So it's a happy crew along pit road with the Petty name on their back.
Maurice had zeroed in on the engine building part of it and had become what was considered then the best in the business.
He wouldn't sleep. I mean, he'd take a nap, he'd wake up and think of something else he was going to do the next day and write it down or jog it in his brain and go back to bed and then wake up again. I mean, he was always an innovator. That's what had kicked their butts.
Dale Inman, of course,
No sleep for the wicked.
with Richard and Maurice. He knew what made them tick and had learned over the years what it took to make the car tick.
Good solid branding too with the blue.
One of the Petty pit.
Well, I'm not saying it seemed easy. Richard was a pretty good driver.
When they got their combination together, Morris building the motors, Richard driving the car, and Dale turning the wrenches, they were almost unbeatable.
Petty's won more races in one season than any other driver in NASCAR history.
Wow.
Petty is a favorite every time.
So he just dominated, really.
Petty blue flies under the checkered flag.
By the mid-1970s, Richard Petty had become an auto racing icon. He would win the Daytona 500 a record 7 times, and he would win an unprecedented 7 championships. No driver in history would win as many races. Among the fans,
That's
he
cool.
was their runaway favorite. He was the king.
The king.
Who started the name King, you know what I mean? But it's great, you know, it's big for him.
So it's definitely who the car's character is based on then.
A wholesome, good old boy.
Fuck, do you reckon his last race?
He didn't drink, he didn't fight, and that appealed to people. They liked a hero. What parent didn't want their kid to love Richard Petty?
Little John, tell him who you love.
You must help these men right here.
Tell him who you love. Say your name is John and I'm 2 years old.
I'm 2 years old.
And said I love Richard Petty.
I love Richard Petty.
Said I went to Daytona to see Richard Petty. Tell the newsman.
I've been Daytona to Richard Petty.
That's cute.
The fans was buying the tickets, so you say, okay, these are the people that's letting you do what you want to do.
Absolutely.
That's driving a race car. When the race is over, you give out and they give you oxygen, okay?
Low key, that's why I do these multi-parters and do the videos that are suggested in the comment section as well, because you guys, my subscribers, are the ones that are, you know, putting bread on my table, you know what I mean? Like this, I'd be doing this anyway, this sort of stuff, like at the moment, right now, let's be real, I'm just watching a documentary on YouTube, yeah, with a camera pointed at me. That's people don't earn money for that shit, you know what I mean? Whereas you guys watching me watch this documentary are then being peppered with fucking advertising, or you join my Patreon and all that sort of stuff, and it ends up being money that comes into my pocket. But it's not the thing that I'm doing that's getting the money, as far as I'm concerned. It's the thing you guys are doing, and I'm just a lucky enough prick to get the money for it, you know what I mean? So it's like, I totally buy into that mentality of you gotta look after the people who are giving you your bread, you know what I mean? Like, you gotta not be a dick to the people that are looking at you and being, that you're entertaining, you know what I mean? Like, it's I like his mentality.
People just, man, you do what you want to do. That's drive a race car. When the race is over, you give out and they give you oxygen, okay? And you sit there for 3 or 4 minutes, get some oxygen, take the oxygen away, and then you start signing autographs. I mean, you know, nobody ever said a race car driver was smart, did they?
I reckon you're pretty smart, mate.
Till the last person got an autograph and left.
We would wait, and we would wait, and we would wait, and we would wait, and sometimes it would be getting dark, and finally here he'd come, wandering to the car after we might be like the only person in the infield left. And sometimes this is really bad, and it happened a lot. Like, we would open the doors and shut them like so much during the day that the battery would be dead. And here's Daddy just driven 500 miles, and he comes and gets in his car. All he wants to do is go home. And it won't start.
Fuck. Just imagine. My timer's just decided, my phone decided to close itself while my timer still had like 5 minutes left on it. So, sorry about that. Pay attention again.
It won't start.
That's how he got to be so popular with the people.
Man of the people.
He was the very first one to intermingle with the fans.
And so he should. Good on him.
Richard Petty set the standard for the drivers' understanding of the level of importance that the fans have in our business.
Richard throws open the doors of the Petty compound for an open house celebration that draws nearly 40,000 turned-on Petty fans.
Fuck me!
They formed a line more than a mile long.
Well, this is before you could create a Facebook event, right? Like,
Autograph of King Richard.
40K?
Autographs for 2 solid days.
You turn right around and sit down right there.
Oh, I'd love to sit down right here. I'd love to.
Okay. Yeah, you come over here and sit down there. Yeah, right here.
Lee Petty, you were one of the sport's first great champions. But of all the champions in stock car racing, Richard Petty is the greatest. As you look out here and see all these people and all of Richard's success, what does it mean to you?
It's what you call an inner satisfaction. I really can't express it, but it's an inner satisfaction that you accomplish and it materialize over the years.
That's it. Like, I can honestly imagine, like, I'll have a son in a week and a half, 2 weeks, you know what I mean? And you know, as I mentioned earlier in the clip, you know, I'm a cocky bastard, and maybe that was in part 2. Like, I'm pretty confident in myself. The only thing that would not have me disappointed by no longer being considered the greatest at something would be if the guy that picked me at the post was my fucking kid. You know what I mean? Like, that level of, like, not only am I so fucking good, but I create greatness at the same time as being great myself. Like, yeah, fucking A, bro. Inner satisfaction, probably a little bit more succinct than I was, but
you accomplish and it materialize over the years. I just felt like it was part of me, part of my job, part of what I wanted to do, part of what I was wanting to accomplish. I look at my autograph and it says, thank you. Thank you for buying a ticket. Thank you for paying for my kids to go to school or eat or the house they live in. So every time you see my autograph, it doesn't say Richard Petty. It says, thank you.
that's cool.
Kyle Petty was born into an established racing dynasty.
Oh, fuck, this is the kid that's going to die, isn't it?
Growing up as the only son to the king made it challenging for the boy to become his own man. The option of racing was always there, waiting.
No, actually, he's been on it as well. I'm an idiot.
His future was not preordained.
I know, like, someone dies. Like, I have a feeling.
People would come up and say, I bet you're going to be a race car driver just like your dad. And I kept saying, I don't think so. I don't think so.
Oh, look at his hat, too. Fuck, he's got a Hollywood smile, doesn't he?
When I was 7, 8, 9 years old, you'd race your bicycles. Everybody raced your bicycles. And you would pretend you were Richard Petty, whoever it may be. But you never really thought that far ahead. I never really said, when I get to be, 18 years old, I'm going to be a race car driver.
And Kyle just always did whatever. I mean, if this was a trend, Kyle was just going to do whatever. I mean, Kyle never went along with the crowd. He played football, basketball, baseball, and golf.
Did what he wanted. Why not? I love his broad shoulders too. Son of the king. I'll do what I want. I'm a prince, motherfuckers.
Really a good football player. Really a good quarterback. He had been to Georgia Tech, been to Carolina, been to a bunch of different schools, and they were recruiting him.
I probably had some athletic ability, but I did not have the heart or the passion to play football. I didn't like getting hit.
Nice self-awareness.
If he wasn't going to college, we wanted him to go to a business school. So we sent him to a business school.
All right.
And he must have went for maybe a month at the most. And one day the lady
Sounds
called
like
me.
me.
She said, "I'm going to refund your money. Don't send him back." He's not interested in this business school. So that ended his business career.
Nice.
One day I just woke up and I knew more about racing than I knew about anything else, and I'm lazy, so I just went the easy route.
He's really smart and he's got a lot of talent, but his daddy was Richard Petty. Sometimes I look at him and I feel like that he got kind of, what did you expect him to do?
And I think that his intentions were to go at it, and he might not ever be as good as his daddy, but I think he felt like he could be almost as good.
Fuck, this family's got a good fashion sense,
I
eh?
definitely felt the pressure of being
You may disagree, but...
Richard Petty's son. All the expectations were that he's going to start where his daddy is and go forward from there.
Big
Kyle's
shoes to
career
fill.
began in 1979 with a lower level race.
Alright, we're going to pause it there as well. Alright, so just before we get right into his career, you know what I mean? We're going to end this video here. But as always, as I've been saying along the whole time, check out my patrons. They're awesome. They're really cool. Thank you guys so much for viewing these. I hope you're enjoying this documentary as much as I am. This is really well made. It's really informative. I feel like I'm learning about the sport as well as this family, you know what I mean? So it's really, really cool. As always, let me know in the comments section if there are other multi-part documentaries that you think I should watch at some point. But yeah, this is really like floating my boat, so to speak. I think this is cool. And yeah, what I said before, those are my patrons. Please hit the subscribe button if this is the first time you've stumbled across me, this multi-parter. If you're watching as I upload them, the next one will come soon. If you're watching at some point in the future, I hope you're enjoying the back-to-back-to-back videos. Thanks for your watch minutes and all that sort of stuff. And if this is the first time you've watched me, this series of videos for this documentary, and you're still on the fence about whether you're going to hit the subscribe or not, this is just me asking one more time. Please hit that subscribe button. I'm trying to get to 5K by the end of 2020, and I can't do it without people like you who randomly stumble across my videos and decide they like me. So yeah, cheers. Let's get to part 4. I hope I'm remembering the amount of parts right, and I haven't said like part 3 multiple times. But I'm looking at the time, and it's looking like we're at 40 minutes. So I think this is part 3. I'm gonna go to anyway. Multi-part video. Let's do this, squad. I will see you guys when I look at you. You'll see me when you look at me. Thanks for watching.